Well, hi, good evening. My name my name is Chef Christina Gleason. I'm also known as Chef Nina. A lot of the kids like to call me Chef Nina. I've been an executive chef now for 11 years. I went to the CIA, graduated from College Institute of America. Grandmother taught me at a very young age, just grew up on the farm, grew up learning how to can, learning how grandma was German, so I learned the old German way of cooking and preparing food. And so that's kind of just a little bit of background about me. Started a little food truck, and I enjoy just serving. I'm very passionate about it. I know my dad thought, you're going to go to, you're going to go be a doctor or nurse. And I was like, no, I want to be a cook. I want to be in the kitchen because that's just where my heart's at. So I love hospitality. My husband is Greg. He is very good with technical aspects. He's got a background in business, IT, and so it just goes really well together with what we can do here to provide this service. So thank you for being here. We have between us 9 kids. We tried to adopt this year, didn't work out. 9, yes, from age 6 to 21. So between us. We are blended. We both lost a spouse to cancer with previous, unfortunately, but now God put us together and we're raising our kids together. So it's just been a blessing. I wanted to do something interesting this year with this season for soups and stocks. And at first I thought, we could do something, where we actually do the veal. We actually go into a veal stock or a chicken stock. But with COVID, things just kind of changed. And so we're just going to keep it very simple tonight. We're going to do more of a vegetable stock. And I actually want to get to know you as well. So if you don't mind telling me your name. Shelly, nice to meet you. Eunice, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful name. Becky, nice to meet you. Joanne, nice to meet you. Okay, I'll do my best to remember your name. Shelly, Eunice, Becky, Joanne. Okay. Well, so what you have in front of you is you have an onion, you have a carrot, and you have your celery. This right here is what is every stock would start with, which we call a mirepoix. I assume you might know what a mirepoix is, but that's the basic of what a soup or a stock starts with. There's many different types of stocks that start with a mirepoix, veal stock. The only difference between veal and chicken is a veal stock you add tomato paste. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the differences, but there's veal, chicken, beef, fish, and vegetable. And the fish stock only takes 45 minutes to an hour. Vegetable, 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour, depending what all you're putting in it. And a chicken stock can take 6 to 8 hours. A veal stock can take 4 to 6 hours. And a beef stock takes a duration of 6 to 8 as well. And that's just because you're actually, cooking down the bones. You're simmering it down. You're taking the bones away. You're skimming it. You're doing your mirepoix. You're doing your sachet, which we will do tonight. Does anyone have any questions for me so far? Okay. Okay. So, all right, what we have besides our mirepoix in front of you is you have a cheesecloth and you have your twine. And this is called your sachet. So what you're putting in your sachet besides your mirepoix, which is another staple in our stock, is you have thyme, a thyme sprig. You can add a few thyme sprigs. You can actually add parsley. But the main ingredients are thyme and our bay leaf. And our bay leaf, they come from Turkey. I love bay leaves. And thyme comes from France. So here you go. And then we also have peppercorns. So it's important that we always add our peppercorns in our sachet with our thyme and our bay leaf. And we'll get to that in just a few moments. I just wanted to go over what's in front of you. Okay, so we went over our mirepoix. We have our peppercorns. And what I also have here is you can use a shallot or you can use a garlic. And all you just do is just add a little bit of a slither of garlic or shallot into your cheesecloth. So we'll do that in just a few moments. Any questions so far? Okay, I don't want to go too fast. I'm excited you're here. Okay. All right. So go ahead. You have your chef's knife. Okay. Hi, camera. I think what we're going to start with, we're going to start cutting up our carrots. I think that would be the best thing to do. And what you have is a bowl that's next to you. Your waste will go back into your white bowl in front of you because we compost. So we're going to put our waste back into our compost bucket. And our what we're keeping, so our yield will go back into our in our bucket, and what we're keeping will go into the bucket, and you'll put that in there together. Okay, you're sharing that bucket or that bowl. Okay. All of your vegetables are washed. As you understand, the carrot's not peeled, and that's okay. I like the flavor of that. It's actually very good, and it actually is packed with nutrients. You want to keep those nutrients. It's just like a beet or an apple. If you want to keep your peel in your apple, you want to keep all those nutrients into your stock. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut off the ends, and I'm going to reserve that for my compost, or you put that in your front. Okay, and we're going to dice it together. More of a small dice, so just like so. Yes, ma'am, about a quarter of an inch, right about so. We're calling that a small dice. Now you can peel it and make it squared off and beautiful, but I just like to utilize as much as my product as I possibly can. I'm even that way with a potato. I like to keep my skin off my potato. That's also very rich in nutrients. Thank you. Do I need to help you sharpen your knife? Yes. Okay, the next thing we're going to chop up is our celery. Again, if you just see any really white ends, just take that off, trim that off really nice, and you'll just go ahead and do the same thing that we did with our carrot, a small dice. And they can all go in that bowl together. You may have some pieces that are a little bigger than other pieces. Just go ahead and cut that in half. You want all your pieces to be relatively the same size in a small dice. We call it a small dice, but that's a 1/4 inch. Y'all are going to be ready for Thanksgiving. Did y'all beat me to it? I better catch up. So all your yield that you're not using, in here, I apologize. Let me rephrase that. I'm so sorry. That's my fault. I need to be a better teacher. There you go. That's our Super Bowl, but yes. Good. Okay, great. Okay, so next is our onion. I'm going to go ahead and stick my mirepoix into our pan in our stock pot here. Okay. Next is the onion. So go ahead and take off the peel. Sometimes I forget there's a camera right there. Can y'all see that? Okay. You're just going to cut off the ends as you usually would do at home. And this time you're going to cut your onion in half. Just straight down the middle there. Like so. And again, all your yield will go into your white bucket in front of you. Mine still has a little peel to it. Okay. We're going to do a small dice on our onion. So you're going to take your knife, just if you don't mind watching me for a moment. So right here, I'm going to go like so to my onion, about 1/4 inch right down the bottom there. And I'm going to continue going up to the very top. And you want it to look like this. I'll go around and show you. There you go. You got it. Yes, ma'am. Be careful. And then you're going to take your knife and you're going to go straight down to the edge. And you want it to look like another 1/4 inch going down. And what I love about this technique is that it helps chop the onion really nice. It keeps all your yield, and it keeps it all relatively the same size. So it looks like a grid when you look at your onion. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And then you're just going to take that and you're going to go straight on down. If you have a little left on that onion, that's fine. You can go ahead and you can do the same thing you just did. And I really feel we have enough onion on one side, but if you want to continue to practice, you may use the other half but I believe 1/2 should be plenty for each of us to put our onions together, because we're making 1 gallon of vegetable stock. So if you want to utilize the other half, I would be happy to put in a Ziploc bag for you to take home. That's totally fine. But we want at least half an onion. Okay, I'm going to go around. That looks good. Y'all are awesome. Okay. The next thing we'll do is our sprig in our sachet. So you're going to take your cheesecloth and you're going to open it up in front of you, like so. And you're going to just take your sprig, take your bay leaf. You could take your couple of sprigs. It could be more than one, all that you have. And then you're going to take your peppercorns. You should each have 5. Oh, you have none. Okay. I'll come around and give you some. I'm getting to know y'all so well. Okay, that's fine. 5 or 6 is fine. If I over poured, I'm sorry. It's just now you're gonna crush those peppercorns with your knife. You can choose to crush them like this. Just crack them on down. Crush on top use your top knife and use your hand going up like this and just go on down. Crush it. You're going to set your peppercorns to the side of your sachet on the cutting board, and you're going to put your top edge of your knife and you're going to go on down, kind of like a seesaw. Yes, ma'am. And you're going to take those peppercorns and put them right in your sachet. If some sprinkle out, that's fine. But now we want that aroma and that flavor of the peppercorn to really come out. And I'm going to come around and give you each some shallot. I love shallots too. And I love garlic, but I thought, I think it'd be fun to do the shallot. Absolutely. Awesome. Do you cook a potato au gratin at home? Yes, shallots go good in that. What do you use your shallots in? Sauces, yeah. What I've noticed too with like Tex-Mex, garlic is great, but it's in everything. And sometimes it's nice to just change it up. Right, it's overpowering. Yes, ma'am. That's nice. Okay, I'm going to give you each one. I'm glad y'all don't like wearing gloves like I don't like wearing gloves. Yes, ma'am. Just a little bit. A clove, really, is all you need. Yeah, I wear gloves when I'm working with raw meat, but I love playing with food with my hands, personally. So now you're just going to take that and you're going to make a little boat. Think of a boat. If your sprig's too long, just use your knife, cut it in half. You don't want it to be a very long, you just want it to look like, I'll show you, a purse, kind of like a little, in fact, mine's still too long. Because I have a thick stem in there. There we go. And you're going to take your twine that you have in front of you, and you're just going to wrap it. You can crack up your bay leaf a little bit too. You want it to look like a little purse, kind of like a little bag, like that. And you're going to take that twine, I know Christmas is coming up and we're wrapping for our kids and our loved ones, and you got those silo packages to wrap, but that's basically all it is. You're just going to wrap it on over. And it should look like this. I'll be more patient. I apologize. That's beautiful. No, that's fine. That looks nice. Looks good. Yes, ma'am. So y'all are pros. We're not going to drop it in. Hold on to it. Put it to the side. We've become prepared for our stock. Okay. Now what we're going to do is each of you are going to come up, or you can designate someone to bring up the bowl to pour the mirepoix into the stock pot. And I'm going to get a little olive oil. I'm going to put a little olive oil in my pan. Go ahead, you can come on around. You'll get to be on TV too if you like. That's the butternut squash soup. Just a moment. That's a lot of mirepoix in there. I'm thinking I might need a bigger stock pot. It's a lot. It is. I brought a bigger one out. Because I want it to nice and brown and caramelize without, yes. Okay, we're going to caramelize our mirepoix here. And you ladies are welcome to come on up and join me if you like and stir it. And you want to watch? That's fine too. So I got my heat on a medium point of heat. I'm going to get that going in just a moment. While that's starting to heat up, I'm going to add salt to my water. Now, what this recipe calls for is 3 pounds mirepoix per 1 gallon of water. So remember at home, if you just, it's always the ratio is always 3 pounds per 1 gallon. Yes. And you can obviously cut that back if you need to. But between the 5 of us, we have what we need for 1 gallon. Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add salt. So you can add kosher, you can add iodized salt. I'm just going to add that into my water. Now, right now I only have 8 cups in there. I have my half a gallon, but I'll pour more and add more salt as I go. And I'd be happy to print out a recipe for y'all too. Absolutely. Now you have a chef friend. If you ever need a recipe, just say it. You can just email me. We have a big stock pot of this, so I would say at least 5 minutes, 5 to 10 maybe. Um, right. Caramelize it, nice and, yes. The only difference with veal stock is when you add the tomato paste, you add your mirepoix and you're roasting it in the oven. Veal stock is so much, there's much more to a veal stock than there is a chicken or a vegetable. You would brown it then. Yes. Would y'all like to actually eat your butternut squash soup while I work on this? Would that be something you would like to do? Okay, I'm going to let this sweat for a minute. I'm going to turn down my heat just a little tad. Okay. You're welcome. Can you see it? Okay. That's his job. I get the texture to that consistency. I roasted the butternut squash first over a sheet pan, put it in the oven, drizzle olive oil, rosemary, thyme, all the goods. I actually did add white pepper, and then I put it through I parade it. I did an emulsion blender is what I did. You can use a Vitamix at home. You can use, and just break it down. But I added my stock to it as I did it. As I blended it, I add my stock to it. Yes. So I had my potatoes nice and mashed, and then I added my stock. And then I emulsified it, yes. So now, yes. And then you'll know, okay, is this how I want it? Do I cut back? Do I add more? You can always add heavy cream if you want heavy cream. Now, if you're vegan, you can add vegetable stock. No, this was basically how I'm showing you. Yeah. And I did add cardamom to that. Yes. I'll go get it. I'll go grab what I... I use this. You could pass it. So when I blend together, I add a few more spices to it. So I added that. That's one of my spices I added. That's probably what you're tasting, huh? I love this smell. It's my favorite, especially when we're making stuffing. And Greg, do you have this on the TV of the vegetables? Oh, you do. Oh, okay. He's so good about that. So you see the vegetables have obviously sweated down. That's how I want it to look. I'm going to go ahead and add now it's really a teaspoon, a couple teaspoons per gallon is what you add of salt. So cold water, has to be cold water. Make sure it's cold. I've got more cold water here. It has to be cold. That's the way the French did. I don't know. I don't know. That's every recipe book I've read. It's cold water. It says cold on there. And then they instill that in your brain going to school. I'm going to add a little bit more. So again, just a couple teaspoons salt per gallon. Which I've already added my salt, so we're good. And cold water. There you go. Now, usually it's just one sachet, but I wanted you all to practice and learn to put the sachet together. We could put all of ours in there. It would be nice and flavorful, but yeah, so you just drop that right on in, and that's it. So go ahead. Yeah, we're going to have fun with this. We can't leave it out. There you go. They're going swimming. Yeah, it's going to be delicious. And I'd be happy to strain this, and I could send you home with a box of this. It's totally fine. But yeah, this is really it. And you're supposed to let that simmer for a while. Yes, that's exactly right. It's supposed to, sweat the vegetables for about 10 minutes, and then they're 30 minutes, and then it's done, really. But as you're simmering this, I did bring I roasted some vegetables today. So you can add any root vegetable, from your garden. Nothing too acidic. No tomato, none of that. Yes, parsnip, leeks, cabbage, carrots. Yes. So what I did was I just did zucchini, squash, asparagus, and carrots. That's it. So you can add that in there too. But you can let that simmer. This is real basic. But if you wanted more flavor and you want to utilize some vegetables, you can just add that on in. So I'm just going to add that on in. Yes, you roast those vegetables real nice. Yep. You can saute them. You can, yep. And if you see at the bottom of my pan, I'm not sure if you can see it, I'm not putting in, those are not butternut squash, but what I did with the butternut squash is very similar, and the potatoes, but it's actually sweet potato. So this is sweet potato. I'm going to leave that there, because what I'm going to do in this pot now is I'm going to put my sweet potatoes in there. When this is ready to be strained, I can puree the sweet potatoes with the vegetable stock. So that's how that works. So this stock, vegetable stock, you can do the same thing at home with potato. Yes, butternut squash. And you can just pour that in and emulsify it as you do it and blend it. And there's your soup. There's your stock, there's your soup. You can use this for, multi-purposes, really. Vegetable stock's great. I know everybody uses chicken stock, but I like chicken stock for certain things. But sometimes you just want a good, just versatile, multi-universal stock. Good for anything. And that's really it. Y'all can enjoy your wine, mingle. If you're done with your soup, I can collect that. Otherwise, you can enjoy your soup. Just let that simmer down. Y'all have any more questions for me? That's a great question. You can freeze stock for a long time. You can freeze it up to I don't know if you do this, but vegetable stock up to a year. Yeah.
So
Clarified butter, same.
and then to keep
Stocks last a very long time.
Yeah, and then sidewalks,
Yep,
whatever,
and then
put it away.
It's actually perfect.
I mean, you can just make one big batch and then put it in a
Yeah.
Ziploc or something.
I'm actually going to print out this recipe for y'all so you can take it home.
Oh, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Old-fashioned ice cream tray.
Uh-huh.
That'd be cool.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you can just take it out and put some little.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, if you don't have peppers here too, I think peppers would be good.
I was just gonna ask you, could you put a pepper?
Yeah, I love peppers.
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's good for your health.
I have a poblano plant at home that is still super crazy. I can pick 25 poblanos a day, and I will still have more.
Really?
It is,
The one in
our
my
garden is
garden
just
is
so crazy.
That's awesome.
And it's late in the season. Normally by now it's already started
I'm
coming
almost,
back.
I'm starting to let them kind of like dry on, the red ones dry, and I'm just gonna pick them off when they're completely dried off.
Wow, that's awesome.
But I mean, I must have got, I bet you 1,000 peppers off the plant.
What have you used them for?
I've stuffed them, I've given them, poor
Okay.
Shelley keeps getting them, giving them away.
No wonder you're not getting the ones out of my garden. I'm getting them from her.
Anybody like eggplant?
I don't know.
You do?
I
I'll
love
bring you
it.
some. I have so much eggplant I give it to the deer.
That's wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. There's nothing better than fresh eggplant. Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful. Thank you for that. I like to grill eggplant. Yeah. Baba ganoush. Mhm. That's Lebanese. Yeah. That's Lebanese. Yeah. Love Lebanese food.